Have you ever had one of those very real moments, end of the month? You open your banking app, look at the balance, and think, wait, I worked all month. Where did the money go? Quiet Wealth here. Today I'm going to speak to you for free. And I'm not holding anything back. Because if you listen all the way through, and actually do what I'm about to say, you're going to hit a milestone that most people never reach. And that milestone isn't a house, or a car, or a title. It's a number. The first number that flips your entire financial life in the opposite direction. A lot of people think wealth is a miracle. I'll say it plainly, wealth is momentum. But before you have momentum, you need a breakthrough point. And the most common, most practical, and also the most brutal breakthrough point is the first $100. Not because it's the biggest number, but because before you have it, everything is working against you. Inflation eats at you. Living costs pull you down. Those little, treat yourself, moments after a stressful week destroy your plan. And the most dangerous part is psychological. You start doubting yourself. You start thinking, maybe I'm just not built for saving. You watch other people post wins, show gains, flex lifestyles, and you feel slow. You feel behind. But I learned something that's both painful and true. Once you hit your first $100, things start to change. Not because you suddenly get smarter. Not because you get lucky. But because math starts to work for you. At that point, compounding stops being a concept from a book, it becomes visible. It has a shape. It has a sound. Your account starts moving even when you're asleep. And you finally understand why some people accelerate later in life. They're not running faster than you. They just have stronger momentum. Today I'm not here to talk philosophy. I'm not here to be vague. I'm here to be practical. I'm going straight to the point. How to build your first $100 in 24 months or less. It sounds intense. And yes, it is. But intense doesn't mean impossible. When I say easy, I mean clear, simple, not confusing, not effortless. And I have to say this up front so you don't get the wrong idea. I'm talking about money management and behavior. I'm not promising guaranteed returns. I'm not selling a fantasy. The financial markets aren't a money printer. But if you build the foundation correctly, you'll join a rare group of people who can create capital. And once you have capital, opportunities start noticing you. Without capital, you're just watching the game from the sidelines. If you're serious, if you're willing to be uncomfortable for 24 months, you can get your first $100. And that first $100 will change your life. Not because it immediately buys you something huge, but because it proves something far more important: you can control yourself. And in money, the scariest thing isn't the market. The scariest thing is not being able to control yourself. So let's get into the value. There are 3 forces, 3 levers, that can get you there. If you only pull one lever, you'll still move forward. If you pull 2, you'll speed up. If you pull all 3, you'll enter a zone that people around you will call unrealistic. And when people say unrealistic, what they usually mean is, they don't have the courage to do it. The first lever, and the strongest one, is becoming obsessed with your savings rate. I'm using the word obsessed on purpose. For 24 months, 2 years, in those 2 years, your number one priority is not eating out, not looking good, not impressing anyone. Your number one priority is how much you keep each month. Let's do the math clearly. $100 divided by 24 months is about $4.167 per month. A lot of people hear that and immediately say, I can't. And that right there is exactly why most people never build real wealth. They hear the number, they panic, they stop. Someone else hears the number and starts calculating. And the person who calculates wins. Here's the truth. Your savings rate isn't just about how much you earn. It's about how much you keep. Some people make great money and keep nothing. Some people make average money and keep a lot. In the phase of building your first $100, keeping matters more than flexing. If your current income makes that monthly number impossible, don't worry, we'll talk about increasing income in the second lever. But first, ask a brutally honest question. With the income you have right now, can you increase your savings rate as high as it can possibly go? Most people think they can't, but the truth is, they've never actually looked at their leaks. Money doesn't disappear, it leaks. It leaks through small, repeated, untracked spending. A coffee just to wake up. A delivery order because I'm tired. A quick purchase because I deserve it. A subscription because it's only a few bucks. And you don't feel the pain in the moment. You only feel it when you check your balance later. Step 1. Track every dollar. I'm not joking. Every dollar. Water bottle, gas, food, random transfers, everything. You don't have to do it forever. Do it seriously for 1 month first. 1 month, but be honest. You'll be shocked. You'll see how much you paid for things you can't even remember. And that's when you realize, you're not broke. You're just not managing the flow. Rich people aren't cheap. Rich people are intentional. They don't let money run on emotion. They force money to serve a goal. Once you see your flow, step 2 is cutting. No negotiation. For 24 months, every time you're about to spend, you ask one question. Does this help me survive and function, or does it delay my $100? If it delays it, cut it. Housing is usually the biggest expense. Can you reduce it? Move somewhere cheaper? Get a roommate? Accept a non-glamorous season? A lot of people are terrified of being judged. Let me tell you something. The people judging you are not paying your bills. You're trading 24 months of discomfort for years of freedom. You're buying momentum. Transportation is another one. Do you actually need an expensive car? Or are you financing an image with interest payments and maintenance? I've watched people look successful while their accounts stay empty because they're trying to prove something. Wake up. Wealth is not what you drive. Wealth is what you keep. Food is the sweetest trap because it gives you instant comfort. But look at your numbers. How many times are you eating out? How many deliveries? Are you buying convenience with money while complaining you don't have money? For 24 months, eat as simply as possible while staying healthy. Cook at home. Repeat meals. Buy with a plan. And most importantly, don't let cravings decide your meals. Entertainment? For 24 months, you can still enjoy life, but do it for free. People will call you cheap. Let them. They're not handing you $100. Subscriptions are a silent killer. All those, just a few dollars, charges add up. Cancel anything non-essential. You don't need 10 platforms. You need discipline. And clothing? You have enough. Stop buying new stuff to change your mood. Your mood can't depend on a new shirt. Now, I know what you're thinking. That sounds miserable. Yes, it is uncomfortable, but it's discomfort with a purpose. Most people are uncomfortable with no purpose. They spend their money. Worry constantly, feel jealous, and stay stressed. You choose 24 months of disciplined discomfort so your future becomes lighter. They choose comfort now, and they pay for it later. Nobody becomes wealthy from one big action. People become wealthy from small actions repeated with discipline. You don't need a life-changing move. You need a habit-changing move. Now the second lever. Increase your income aggressively. Because if your income is low and you only focus on cutting expenses, you'll burn out. You can't cut forever. Eventually cutting hits your quality of life. That's where income has to rise. A lot of people think wealth comes from waiting for a raise. I'll be honest, waiting for a raise is slow. And it's not guaranteed. The faster move is creating extra income streams, second income, third income. It doesn't have to be glamorous. It just has to be real. Today it's easier than ever to make extra money because we have platforms and tools. But it's also easier than ever to get distracted by people promising fast riches. I'm not selling that. I'm telling you what works. You sell skill. You sell time. You sell focus. You can freelance, writing, design, editing, building simple websites, running ads, making content. A lot of people say, "I don't have skills." That's not true. You just haven't packaged your skill into something people will pay for. If you save someone time, they'll pay you. You can work overtime if your job allows it. I know you're tired. I know you want your weekends. But we're talking about 24 months. Are you willing to push for 24 months to buy yourself years of freedom? Some people say, "I don't want to waste my youth." Let me tell you the real danger: being older with no capital. Then you're forced to work because of bills, debt, and pressure. When you have a foundation, you work by choice. You can use the gig economy. Drive, deliver, teach, do short-term projects. None of these make you rich overnight, but they create cash flow. And cash flow is oxygen for this plan. You can also sell stuff. In most homes, there's money sitting dead, clothes you don't wear, electronics collecting dust, impulse purchases. Sell it. You don't need to keep a museum of your old mistakes. You need cash to build a foundation. Some people feel embarrassed selling things because it looks broke. Again, those people are not paying your bills. You need results, not approval. Now here's my personal view on the stock market and financial markets in general. A lot of people enter the market too early with the wrong mindset. They don't have enough capital. But they want a quick win. They stare at charts like it's a claw machine. They want one big trade to make up for years of not saving. And the outcome is usually the same. The market teaches them a painful lesson. Some lose money. Some lose confidence. Some lose their personality, because they go from calm human beings to stressed, suspicious people living and dying by red and green candles. I'm not saying the market is bad. The market is a mirror. If you come in with greed and no discipline, it reflects that. If you come in with a plan, it becomes a tool. In these 24 months, your goal is not to become a trading genius. Your goal is to become someone with capital. And that's why the second lever, income, matters so much. Now the third lever, invest immediately. With rules. A lot of people save a little money and leave it sitting in a checking account or in something that can't beat inflation. Then wonder why they don't move forward. Money needs an environment to grow. Every environment has risk. Your job is choosing the right risk for your goal. In these 24 months, you're not allowed to play the game of, "I'll invest later when I have enough." Waiting kills momentum. It creates procrastination. The better move is, money comes in. It gets allocated immediately. But allocate how? I believe in keeping it simple enough that you can actually do it consistently. And simple enough that you don't sabotage your plan with your ego. First, you need an emergency buffer, liquidity, so you don't panic when life happens. Panic is the enemy of investing. Panic makes you sell wrong. Panic makes you borrow. Panic destroys discipline. So keep a buffer that lets you sleep at night. Then, with the rest, you invest in a disciplined way. Many people like picking individual stocks. I'm not saying that's wrong. But for someone building their first $100, picking individual names often drags you into one thing: emotion. Rumors, headlines, group chats, the urge to go all in. And one bad market swing can erase months of hard work. So in this foundation phase, I lean toward broad exposure, index style, diversified vehicles, things that reduce decision fatigue and let you stay consistent. The power here is simple: steady investing over time. Dollar cost averaging. Some months prices are high. Some months prices are low. You don't have to guess the bottom. Guessing bottoms is ego. Building wealth is system. You'll see people brag about quick wins. You'll see screenshots of gains. But you won't see their losses, their stress, their sleepless nights. Don't copy someone else's highlights and call it a strategy. And one warning: leverage is a double-edged sword. It can speed you up, but it can also throw you out of the game entirely. If you're building your first $100, don't chase speed through leverage. Chase speed through discipline. Now let me tie this together. You're going to reach your first $100 by doing 3 things at the same time: maximizing your savings rate, increasing your income aggressively, and investing consistently with rules. And here's the most important truth: most people don't fail because they lack information. They fail because they can't tolerate discomfort. They want a new life without new habits. They want financial freedom, but they don't want freedom from temptation. They want wealth while still living like a high-end consumer. Those two forces will always fight. And the one that usually wins is the old habit, because it's familiar. For 24 months, you will look different. You'll say, "No, more." You'll skip certain hangouts. People will call you too intense. Good. People only call you intense when you're changing. Nobody criticizes a person who stays the same. I'll share something real. There were times I saw friends traveling, upgrading phones, buying things, and I wanted it too. I felt the pull, but I asked myself one question: if I spend this now, who buys my freedom later? No one, only me. Some people say, you only live once. Exactly. So don't live once in debt. Don't live once in dependence. Don't live once asking permission because you never built capital. And yes, maybe you won't hit the number in exactly 24 months. Maybe it takes 26. Maybe 30. But if you stay on the path, you'll get there. If you never start, you'll never arrive. The difference between people who build wealth and people who don't isn't IQ. It's how many months they're willing to do the hard work without needing applause. So treat these 24 months like a project. A project with a deadline. A project with metrics. And a project with one customer, your future. If you've made it this far and something I said hit you, remember this: truth doesn't save you. Action does. Start with the smallest move today. Track your spending. Cut one leak. Create one extra income stream. Set up automatic investing. Hold the discipline for 1 week. Then 2. Then 1 month. And you'll be shocked at how quickly you start becoming a different person. Quiet wealth here. I genuinely hope everyone who supports this video moves closer to real financial freedom, built on discipline. Not gambling. Not fantasies. If you want more content like this, consider subscribing and turning on notifications. I won't promise you quick riches. I will promise you this: if you're disciplined enough to walk the path, you'll stop asking, "Where did my money go?" and you'll start asking a different question, the question people with capital ask. How much more future am I buying this month? And when you finally hit your first $100, you'll understand why I call it the point where everything flips. Because at that moment, you stop begging time for money, and you start letting time pay you back.